Good afternoon and welcome to North Scotland Wing News. I'm Cadet Warner Warnock and these are your headlines. Coming up tonight, the hashtag Team 102 copyright case has finally come to a close with the judge ruling in 102 Squadron's favour. After fierce and emotive arguments from both sides, it's been decided that 102's branding is completely original and consistent.
We're Team 102, it's who we are!
And later, we hear from the experts behind the flight sim technology which has been sweeping across Aberdeen, and the locals who are backing it. Also tonight, we are taking a deep dive into 102's social media records from the last 12 months to find out what works and what doesn't. And finally, we hear from the recruits themselves to finally answer the question, is 102 the greatest squadron? The 102 media case, which has taken up much media attention in the last few weeks, has finally come to a close following the discovery of new evidence. We go over to Corporal Johnson, who is outside the courthouse now.
Thank you, Cadet Warrant Officer. A few hours ago, everyone inside this courthouse was informed that 102 were cleared of copying the hashtag team branding, which has seen a widespread increase in popularity. The judge stated, quote, "I can see that 102 Squadron came up with this hashtag. They have used it well and consistently over many years. It's been made evident to me that other squadrons are simply jumping on the bandwagon following in hashtag Team 102's success. Not that I can blame them. The judge has now ruled that all squadrons must publicly admit that the hashtag team branding was created by 102 if they want to continue to use it. No doubt this decision will send shockwaves up and down the country. That's all from me. Back to you in the studio."
Later, we will hear from some of the experts who've been installing the new flight simulator in 102 Aberdeen Airport Squadron. But first, we're going to hear from some of the locals who've been supporting the project, whether it's by entering raffles to stay at a caravan park, organising an open day for a flight simulator, or by playing bingo.
Hello, I'm Corporal Scott at Westbound Tennis Pitches, Aberdeen, and I'm here with local tennis superstar Oliver McRae. Oliver has recently attended one of 102's fundraisers. He went to the bingo night. How did you find the bingo night, Oliver?
It was good fun. I enjoyed it. Got to meet new people. Yeah, it's good fun.
That's good. How do you feel about the money being put into 102 for the new flight sim?
I think it's a good use of it, inspiring the next generation. It's the Air Cadets, so, flying's kind of a part of it. And I think it's going towards a good cause.
All right, thank you, Oliver. Back to you in the studio.
So ma'am, we've heard about the bingo and the caravan raffle, but what other fundraising events are you organising as a squadron?
So at some point later this year, we are planning on having an open day for the flight simulator when it newly opens. As part of that, we're offering experiences for 30 people to get a 20-minute flight experience within our new flight simulator. That's helped us to up the fundraising goal. Each experience costs a certain amount of money, which has gone towards our goal, and it'll help to make the community be able to use our flight simulator and see how we utilise it in the squadron.
Perfect, thank you very much. Following their win, 102 released their statistics for their social media posts from the last year. I'm here with social media correspondent, Sergeant Barclay. Sergeant, can you tell us a bit more about what these statistics mean?
Absolutely. So looking at the squadron, each month we go through our statistics across our social media channels to make sure we're really performing at our best, and it allows us to improve as we go on each month. So for example, looking at March, we identify our top performing posts in terms of reach across Facebook, Instagram and Twitter to see exactly why they're getting a wider reach compared to some posts. This could be because they're getting engaged by wing and region accounts, therefore having a wider RAFAC audience, or they're getting shared onto personal pages, or it's just shouting about how well our cadets are doing, which we can see in March following our awards. Okay, so hence we see a positive increase in metrics, especially in March, almost quadrupling compared to January and February, which is a significant amount. This is because we're creating consistent branding and utilising features such as Reels on Instagram to really harness each individual platform and the reasons for it to allow us to have a cohesive brand identity and really showing just how amazing 102 is on social media, and it's clearly seen in the metrics, and again allows us to continue to perform at a really high standard throughout the year.
Yes, I have here some statistics by each post for Facebook. How does this help you as a squadron?
As a squadron, like I said, it allows us to identify what we're doing well and what we're not. So for example, in January and February, we were really seeing that posts to do with shooting were doing quite well. Therefore, that's something we want to keep posting about. Looking forward to April, we've got our intake night coming up. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on really recruitment and advertising the benefits of joining the organisation. So that's essentially what this is doing, telling us what we're doing well every month.
Yeah, perfect. I've also got a few examples of posters from the squadron. Can you tell us a bit about your branding?
Our branding, absolutely. So as you can see, we've got a really cohesive branding. We keep with those dark blue colours, and we've got the Squadron logo and the RAFAC logo in them all. We try to advertise the key points of the organisation, especially the aviation. That's something, again, using the stats that we've seen is a big highlight. We've also got clear call to actions of the QR codes in the majority of the posters. And the reason for this is people can go up, scan them, the posters out in the local community. It leads to the Squadron link tree, which has all the key information. And looking forward, we're wanting to put Microsoft Forms. Therefore, people for our intakes can put in all their information, and it saves them putting in a lengthy RAFAC email, which again will hopefully lead to getting more intakes and more people joining our intakes, and therefore more people at the squadron. Because again, putting things out in the community, but also on social media allows us to cover all of our bases and lets people join 102.
I understand you put out a few posters for your bingo night in
Yes.
just local community areas.
Absolutely.
Was that successful in bringing members of the community into
It absolutely was. People who may not have social media but enjoy bingo were able to come along to that by going out to places like Tesco and Cafe 21. They were able to spot the posters and come along and benefit from the community. They were probably the ones that benefited the most, winning all the prizes. But again, it's another channel that social media doesn't provide and doesn't close in our audience. It really opens it up. And again, working with the local community promotes us in ways that we couldn't have done before.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sergeant. That's all from us. Over to you, Cobber Scott, who's speaking to some of the newer recruits from 102. Thank you.
I'm here with 102 cadets, Cadet Wills and Cadet Shinde. Cadet Shinde, what has your input been on the PR?
My input has been we were brainstorming ideas as a squadron and we got to put our own ideas forward.
No, thank you. Cadet Wills, have you enjoyed your time at 102?
Yes, I did.
Right.
Best squadron in the world.
And is 102 the best squadron?
Yes.
Thank you. We now head over to the dice pitches to hear from our sports correspondent regarding today's media competition results. Over to you, Corporal Scott.
Thank you, Cadet 1 Officer. It was a fantastic win from 102 this afternoon. They had absolutely everything on the field. They had consistent posting all across social media platforms. They were utilising the algorithm by using hashtags, tagging local pages, and so much more. But most importantly, they just kept improving throughout the year. From the monthly analysis of all their social media output across all platforms to identify strengths and areas which need more work. I'm afraid the other squadrons simply did not have a chance. But you can still hear the crowd roar. Just how exciting it was to watch this brilliant competition. Back to you in the studio.
And that is where we leave you for this afternoon. But for more information, you can always go to our Facebook, Instagram or X, previously Twitter, pages. So from everyone from North Scotland Wing News and from Team 102, it's goodbye and please vote for us in the media competition. Thank you. Goodbye.